What's up everybody, Arrg the Pirate here, and today we're going to take a look at my phase build and kind of see the adjustments I've made. Here's the list of nerfs and changes that Phase is receiving in V41. They really just kind of reduced the length of her link and, changed her blind. At max level it's just going to be 2 seconds instead of 3, and changed the amount she healed for but increased the duration. She didn't get a major nerf, and as a semi-phase main, I'm satisfied that I think she will be more balanced than she is right now. Now my phase deck is very easy. I don't have a whole lot of cards that I swap out, and I really only get rid of one main card besides my consumables, and oftentimes I don't even pick up my consumables. So this phase deck is very easy but very efficient. Start off with the Centurion Prime card, follow that up with 2 health potions and 2 healer tokens. Now let's get into the meat of this deck. Now I start out with a dummy ward. You can pick any ward to use, and you don't always have to place a dummy ward, but it does make the game much easier when you do. Then you want to go into a 6-point circlet of health with all basic mana and get a Lord's Ward. Now I put 6 points of health in my Lord's Ward, but I do not upgrade it straight off. I usually just pick it up for the ward once I complete that circle. After that, I will get Overflowing Gifts or Quenching Scales, whichever one I have the points for. If I do have 7 points on the next return, I pick up Quenching Scales. But if I've only got 5, I will pick up Overflowing Gifts just because I want to get some sort of, sustain and really be able to help people out. Then I go into my Barrier of Will. Now this is where the healer tokens come in play. You can use healer tokens to offset 4 points of this Barrier of Will and make it easier to pick up. At this point in the match, go ahead and swap out Gift of the Rains and Circlet of Health. Circlet of Health is really not helpful for your team anymore, and you get a lot more health regen with Gift of the Rains. Lastly, you want to upgrade all your other cards and get that Tuned Barrier. Now, if you are taking a lot of ability damage, go ahead and get that Tuned Barrier earlier than waiting until you get, all your health stacked. But I prefer to stack health over defense, but kind of play how you want. If you're on a very, ability damage heavy team and you're going against Countess and Morgesh and maybe even a Revenant, that Tomb Barrier might be much more helpful to pick up before you worry about upgrading your basic armor or all the extra health that we have in this deck. Now I am only a few thousand points away from hitting Master, and this is actually the game that I get my Master rank on. And it was just an absolute blast. They ended up surrendering. We just had a lot better team coordination than the defending team did, but that's okay. I really wish that we could have played the whole match. They did end up surrendering. I almost didn't get that Master rank because of it. Now I'm currently in a 3 stack. I've got Sparrow, who's in comms with me, and our offlaners in comms with me as well. So we're really able to, keep a lot of pressure up and kind of understand what each other are doing. This Wukong is playing, fairly aggressive, and he's coming in for hits when, I'm able to get this poke damage on him and really not have to worry about minions. And by getting this poke damage, I'm actually pulling the minions further away from his tower, so he's going to have to come into, or out of his safe zone to actually engage. So we're doing fairly well in just keeping him still. I'm able to get a root off on him and Sparrow ends up doing her piercing shot from, it had to have been close to max range, and she ended up picking up that kill. So here at 3 minutes, we down their offlaner, and we do a significant amount of damage to this tower. For the next 5 minutes or so, not a whole lot is going on, and we're just kind of making small rotations. We've kept a lot of pressure up on this safe lane, but no progress is really being made on lanes in other places, and we've had a couple of picks, a couple of deaths, but nothing major is really going on. Now, this Revenant ends up ulting me right at the tower, and, you know, I'm not going to run away because Morgesh is here, and, you know, I'm going to stay in this fight. Unfortunately, they end up downing her. I wasn't able to get her healed up. Now, if you see, I'm using my abilities not to, you know, do anything to the enemies. I'm using them to get those heals up. And, you know, we've got minions here at this tower doing damage. I'm pretty much dead, you know. There's very little I can offer. I go down here to try to grab this Kwong, but I end up snatching onto that Sparrow right there, which I actually did not see her right in front of me. I then ult her and run the customary serpentine pattern to confuse and disorient enemies, but I still end up going down. You know, that's really hard to do with Chimera since he does have that lock on. And, you know, a Chimera hook to a phase against a Chimera hook or a phase hook to a Sparrow is, you know, that really depends on if we're able to survive or we go in at full health. I was already fairly low health, and with a blind and, you know, things like that, I just got erased fairly easily. Now here at 12 minutes, me and Sparrow are going to collapse on this phase and Revenant. Now, one thing that's great about being hooked to an ADC like Sparrow is she actually benefits from Phase's ultimate. Revenant has no benefit at all from Phase's ultimate, other than that little bit of run speed. And, you know, if he does actually unhook from Phase, he even loses that, you know, little cooldown that she gives as well. I really enjoy playing Phase, but you definitely have to pick the right heroes to go against. And one of the biggest things to note is if there is an Aurora as the support, you should take it upon yourself to go, hey, unfortunately I'm not going to play Phase this round because Aurora can just completely shut you down. A few minutes later here in mid lane, you know, we have 3 heroes and they have 3 heroes, and we just kind of start going in. Sevarog shows up, and we're going to try to, you know, make something happen at this mid-tier tower. They've done a very good job of every time we want to make something happen in this mid lane, we have a very big team rotation from them. So we've made very little progress in the mid lane. And, you know, really getting this mid lane tower down really frees up our team to start moving around and getting ganks and, you know, really pushing lanes more. Now, I have no idea where this Chimera came from when he came up behind us. And, you know, he didn't use his ambush or anything, which is great. You know, he's got it for now, but I'm not exactly sure why he did what he did, but Morgesh ended up getting a mark on, hitting him with her hive, and, you know, ended up doing so much damage to him, he's going to have to back away. And, you know, we really get that tier 1 tower, and we're able to put a lot of pressure on this tier 2 tower. At 19.5 minutes in, we start getting a big counter push here in mid lane, and Morgesh actually ends up going down. I head over there. I was going to try to save her, but, you know, I just couldn't make that trip in time. Chimera jumps on me at such low health that we're able to get this kill, and I'm linked up with Sevarog. You know, we get a good team rotation, and we actually do quite a bit of work with, you know, both of him and me starting out at very, very low health. we're able to make a huge push right here and, you know, end up downing 4 enemies before it's all said and done. This really frees us up to, you know, really start pushing lanes and everything like that. Now, right now would have been a just opportune time to go for Prime, but I was low on mana and we were all kind of, you know, not super healthy, and we're still fairly early in the game, so the respawn timers are pretty quick. So we decide, hey, let's just get this tier 2 and really push this inhib. Unfortunately, we weren't able to down this inhib, but, you know, we get a lot of damage on it, and, you know, their team is just completely shooken up because, you know, hey, we've been able to be really aggressive. You know, they lost their jump pads, and we're going to, you know, just keep pushing. So here at the 23-minute mark, we actually get a pretty good engagement over here in our off lane. They have downed our Sparrow, but, you know, hey, that's no issue at all. We're gonna be fine. FaZe ends up, you know, FaZe and Rev end up getting a decent gank on me, but I'm able to just kind of run around in circles, and, you know, this Revenant is stayed under our tower just way too long. I'm able to get a root on him and get a little more tower damage. We had great rotation with Severog. He's able to pick up that kill. I then hook to Kwong, start healing him up, and, you know, right now we have 4 of their team down with just our carry missing. We end up getting a full team pick, and hey, we're gonna march down this center lane, and, you know, they actually end up surrendering here in a second. But this was a really fun game. You know, I would have rather actually been able to finish that. You know, it was, you know, fairly early still in the game. I was still level 9. But, you know, we ended up winning, and I did get my master skin. Well, as this video wraps up, I'd just like to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, show me some love, leave me a comment, think about subscribing, and let me know if you'd like to see any videos on anything or have any questions. Well, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video.